Welcome, everybody, to the first edition of the MSE Pro Football Weekly. I'm your host, Dan Murphy, alongside my co-hosts, Dustin Whitehead and Lawrence Mardus. Guys, how you doing?
Doing good. How you doing?
It's going good.
Good. Just nice to talk some pro football after last 24 hours here in the Michigan area, talking a lot about Sharon Moore and all that craziness. So looking forward to talking some NFL football here, guys. And, just to start things off, guys, just to let everybody know, I'm a Lions fan. Dustin's a Lions fan. Lawrence, you're more of a Cowboys fan. Why don't you let people know, Lawrence, you're in this area, but you originally are from the Dallas area, correct? And, you
actually reverse that. I'm actually from Detroit.
Oh, okay.
I've lived in Dallas 3 separate times, and to my father's dismay, when I was 5 years old, I just became a Cowboys fan, and he couldn't stop it.
It's cool.
Did you find any passion for the Lions at all, being living here quite a bit? But
you know what? I do like, for my family's sake, my friends' sake, I always want the Lions to do well. The only time I root against them is when they play me.
Week.
So, right. So, it's just one of those, I'm not even sure how it really started, man. I just had a Cowboy t-shirt as a kid, and that's just kind of where it went.
It's the start. I think it's the start. It just attracts kids, man. I don't know what it is, but man, it's just something about it, because there's a lot of kids that grow up Dallas fans, and I think maybe it was, for you, maybe it wasn't so much, but I know early 90s, they were just unbelievable, with Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin. They're always on TV.
And that's, I think, for, obviously I'm a little bit older than you fellas. So for me, I saw their first Super Bowl when I was 6 years old. So, it's just kind of from then on. And then I had that long wait into the 90s. And now it looks like I'm in another long wait. So, it's all cyclical, but I'm hoping I don't have to wait too much longer.
Well, let's go ahead and get into it, because this week was definitely bragging rights between the three of us. And Lions win. Last week, Thursday, Lions win on Thursday Night Football, 44-30. Quite the shootout. We talked about it on Lawrence's podcast. We kind of previewed the game. We talked about was kind of a must win for both teams. And the Lions were able to pull it out 44-30. Dustin, I'll start with you. What were your just kind of initial thoughts following this game?
I felt like the game kind of went how I was feeling going into it. Like, it was going to be high scoring. It was going to be a lot of action. Mistakes, whoever won the turnover battle was going to have a good chance. And Jahmyr Gibbs is incredible. So that's pretty much how I felt.
And Lawrence, I know you really thought this was an absolute must-win game for the Cowboys. What were your thoughts?
It's as you know, I actually picked Detroit to win that game. Honestly, for me, it came down to the Lions made adjustments in game, like in the moment, and the Cowboys did not seem to do any of that. Those first two series, Dallas was actually getting pressure on Goff, forced him to throw it away. And the offense was kind of, for the Lions, was a little stagnant. And then Campbell and his offensive team made adjustments. Pressure went away. Eberflus and Shoddy didn't make their adjustments, and there's your game.
Yeah. Herb Street calling Schottenheimer shoddy every 5 seconds was starting to get a little on my nerves. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, dude, you're not just hanging out with your best buddy right now. You're announcing the game. Can we be serious?
Yeah, no,
I was getting honestly, a little annoying.
It was, because it was a 3-point game with 10 minutes left to go in the game.
Yeah. And they should have absolutely. We debated this in the chat, but I don't know why they didn't go for it. You're within the 20, and you have this kicker that can hit from anywhere. So if you're gonna win this game, you're going to have to stop them anyways, which they didn't do. I just, in my mind, I could not. Dan Campbell would never, but to be fair, he never would kick a field goal if he could. But still.
Well, I had the same.
I just couldn't believe it.
We talked about it in the preview. I had the same complaint about Dan Campbell like in the Packers game in reverse. Like, so I completely disagree with you, Dustin. Like, I think anytime you have an opportunity to cut it to one score, you got to do it. You got to do it.
What the score was like, it finished 44-30, you know? It's like, it's a high score.
Well, yeah, they couldn't stop the line. It didn't matter. I mean, it wasn't going to matter in the end.
But goal, you can come down and score again. You could have won 36 or whatever, 37 or something, you know?
And I think, you know, part of the
that's just what I thought.
Part of the issue, I think, for the Cowboys offensive staff, like sometimes they get maybe a little too full of themselves, thinking they can just score on every drive. So, and then they cut it to 3. And, you know, I can honestly, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, you cut it to 3, great, but your defense isn't stopping them. But they're thinking on that end, okay, we can at least get one stop and we can take a lead or tie it. And then everything changes. But, you know, they didn't adjust in any shape or form to what they were doing with Gibbs. And at that point, it was moot. Like it was never, they were never going to really catch up. Even though they were down by 3 with 10 minutes left, it was never that close.
Yeah. Another issue is
I think the biggest adjust.
Go ahead, sorry. No, I was just going to say, when you have the best kicker in the world, he gives you this confidence of like when they hit that 63-yarder and all that. Like, okay, we get the points at least. But sometimes I feel like you just got to go for it a little bit because 5 field goals, 2 touchdowns. I mean, it's not. I don't know.
Right. It's a soft 30 points.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, in the biggest, you know, you look at these stats. I mean, the Cowboys put up 417 yards. They actually had more yards than the Lions in this game. But the biggest difference was the turnovers. Lions won the turnover battle 3-0. And sacks. The Lions were finally able to get pressure. Like that had been a struggle for them a few weeks going into this game. And a guy that really stepped up was, really both Hutchinson and Muhammad, because Hutchinson had 10 pressures in this game. Even though he didn't get a sack, he got 10 pressures, which opened up the other side, which Muhammad was able to feast, and he got 3 sacks. Which, Dustin, I'm going to ask you, like, where has Muhammad been? Like, all of a sudden, it feels like he's just like total feast or famine. Like, and then this game, he gets 3 stacks, where it feels like we haven't seen him in forever.
Yeah, I mean, the Ravens game was, he had 2.5 of those, so 5.5 of his 9 sacks this year came in 2 games. Yeah. And I was going to mention, and while you were talking again, my bad, that he won NFC Defensive Player of the Week with those 3 sacks. And, you know, his run, it's because they're always worried about the run. It's like, we stop the run, we run the ball. So when like I said, I think I said it in the preview about Tyleik Williams, his snap count went down to like 20 this past game. And he's really good, and he has like top 20 defensive tackle numbers right now from like PFF and all that. But you got to get Aleem out there. You got to have Hutch, and then you got to have DJ Reader, who is still better than Tyleik Williams. And, you know, when you want to get all 4 of those guys out there, it gets tough, right? But you got to have another edge rusher. So it's like, sorry, you're the odd man out, Tyleik Williams. So that's probably what's been happening the past 6 weeks is Tyleik Williams' snap counts went up. Roy Lopez has been a pretty decent player. So it's hard to fit all those defensive tackles in and, you know, but the pressure is the name of the game. So,
especially in this game, you know, you knew it was going to be a shootout. You knew Dak was going to try to light it up, and he did for the most part. But had a couple picks, and he had the fumble from the tight end Ferguson there, and then
and you know, with the picks, I think I'd have to look this up, and I don't even know if this is even a real stat, but I think Dak Prescott has got to lead the league in interceptions bouncing off his receiver's hands and chest. Because both of those interceptions were not his fault.
Well, I got to ask you this, Lawrence. What is up with Pickens? And this is my first time kind of really watching him, you know, in a full game with the Cowboys. Like, man, it seems like if he's motivated, holy cow, what a player. But, man, he'll just quit. Like, he'll just quit on routes. It's unreal.
Well, and, you know, it's something that I don't know if you guys were on last week when we were talking about it, is Pickens has shown through this season, even when CD was out, if he doesn't get the ball early, he checks out, and then he half-asses his routes, which obviously it was evident in the game, and I don't understand why people are sticking up for him, but what you saw on Thursday night was Pittsburgh Pickens. That's what you saw.
Yeah.
Now, maybe they got into his head, which can be done because he's very emotional. So, if a couple of the Lions players are kind of chirping at him, he gets in and starts getting in his head, and there you go. But yeah, the effort from the whole team really was a little bothersome, quite honestly. So,
because you would have thought when CeeDee Lamb went out, you thought, all right, man, this is national TV. This is a must-win game. Like, this is his chance in a contract year to shine.
right.
And he did the complete opposite.
Yes.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. And it didn't matter. Like, and you could see, like, even in the plays, like they were bracketing him, over the top, they kind of had his slant covered, which opened up things for Flournoy to get all his yards.
He tore it up. Yeah,
he did. But, you don't prep for a guy like that. You prep for Pickens and Lamb. So, I'm always, I know he's a free agent. I'm lukewarm to have him come back. I know they make a great tandem, but it's almost like they can only be a great tandem when things are right.
The reason why he gets a pass, though, is because of fantasy football. Like, that's literally why, though. Like, fantasy football numbers. That's it. Because he's like number 3 in fantasy football, and he has like the 1,100 yards and the the catches and all that. That's why.
I'd rather him show up on game day.
I agree.
I can't imagine Dallas giving him a long-term contract. Like, maybe could you see maybe a franchise tag or just bring him back for 1 year?
Yeah, I think that's where they're headed. Which I think the franchise tag is $30 million. So, I guess okay, but I don't know that I would. Yeah, it's a lot, but I think
they'll try getting him for 3 for 100 or something. I think they'll try like doing like a short-term thing, like with like 2+, like most of it guaranteed or something. Try to like fit him in.
I mean, I don't, maybe I don't know that I would, quite honestly. The franchise tag maybe, but heck, even Mark Schlereth was on a show today saying he wouldn't give 2 cents to George Pickens. So, I know
Richard Sherman was ripping into him.
Right.
I mean, absolutely torching him.
Oh, he did. And, Pickens put a retort on his Instagram, and then he took it down. And then, Schottenheimer had to go and talk to him about, hey, man, you just got to relax. So just a bad look, a bad way to go out in a game where you needed to win and you didn't really show up. So
the finish up on the Cowboys side of things, what is Lamb's situation going forward?
He's been at practice. They haven't really laid out anything as far as if he's going to be still in concussion protocol. So as far as I know, he'll be there Sunday night.
What do you think? And I'll add one more thing about the Cowboys. What do you think their situation is now? Now that they lost, but the Eagles continue to lose.
Well, like we talked about last week, I think that's the Cowboys' only route. Even had the Cowboys won this week, they still their playoff percentage was only going to be 39%. So,
I don't know. I think they might win out. I got a good vibe.
I think they got a shot, man. I think they got a shot to win out. And the way the Eagles are looking, you never know.
Yeah, and I know we'll talk about the Eagles here in a little bit. I still think that they find a way to finish out.
They should, based off their schedule. I got it right here.
Right. Yeah. Eagles Washington twice.
Raiders this week, but the Bills. So they lose to the Bills, and then division games. You never know. Marcus Mariota might go off and do something crazy, split it. And the Cowboys right here, they should beat the Vikings. The Chargers have no offensive line. The Commanders we just mentioned, and then the Giants, who might already be in Cabo in the last week of the year.
Yeah, so, I mean it's possible for them to win out. I'm of the mindset the Eagles will finish up, but hey. Look, I'm on board for an Eagles collapse. I'm all for it.
Hey, so are we. So are we. And just to finish up from the Lions side of things, from what I saw, a big adjustment that they made from the Green Bay game was just finding ways to get Gibbs the ball in space. they realized that, especially against Green Bay, maybe not the best route is just to try to run in between the tackles. Let's try to get him the ball in space, whether it be in screens, whether it be on swing routes, whether it be on little angle routes over the middle. They found all different ways to get Gibbs the ball. And people were saying, wow, he didn't have the most rushing yards. Well, who cares? I don't care how he gets them, as long as he's getting the yards and he's making plays and he's getting the ball in space, which we saw. So it was more from a receiving angle for Gibbs this week as opposed to the rushing angle. But then, Montgomery was able to get some of his carries and get going a little bit too at times. So the Lions were able to make it work and make some adjustments, even if, running between the tackles wasn't going to be the answer.
Well, and that's just it. Like, they adjusted. They made adjustments when the other team did not.
It goes back to the second or third longest streak of not losing back-to-backs. They make mistakes, they correct them. Maybe they'll make some more again, but that's kind of their motto.
Absolutely.
And that was a heck of a call on Miles Frazier, by the way.
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up. Like, I would have liked to have seen him play a little bit more, but what he did was able to play, and this is his first playing time of his career. Like, he didn't have preseason and it had other opportunities. Like, he stepped in a must-win game on national television against the Dallas Cowboys in his first career game.
On the first touchdown, cleared it up for that.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he's a mauler in the run game. He's still got a lot of improvement in the pass protection. There was some times where he got beat, but overall, I mean, with what the options they have, he feels like the best option at left guard until Mahogany can come back. And I was just really impressed. Like, he was, to me, he was like a wild card going to the final stretch of this season. Like, if he could step in and play well, he could make a huge difference. And I thought in the snaps that he did play, I thought he made a difference in that game Thursday.
Well, and I think too, that's what the Lions are, a running / precision team. So you want him to be good be able to run the ball. And obviously you can see they can scheme Goff to where he's just throwing like 3-step drops and he's getting rid of it. So, you can have the best pass rushers on the planet. The ball's not there. What are you going to do? So, I think it goes to what we talked about last week. The secondary for Dallas is horrible. So no problem with the receivers getting open. So 2-step drop, 3-step drop, ball's out, and you're good to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any final thoughts on the Lions here, Dustin? We're going to get into them a little bit towards the end of the show. We'll preview the Rams game a little bit, but just any final thoughts from this game from a Lions perspective?
Oh, I think one thing we didn't mention is what a bulldog St. Brown is. You can tell he was struggling at times, and he still had 6 for 92 or something. It's like
it's some big. It seemed like
Dan Campbell said it after the game, and it's like this is who you build your team around right here. This guy right here, like him. He's mentioned Hutch. You mentioned these guys that just bust their tail every chance they can get, and like he knew it was a must-win game, and he knew if he got through that game, he was going to have 11 days of rest, and now they control their own destiny depending on if they beat the Bears. So,
I mean, just the complete opposite of George Pickens, right? I mean, you know what I mean? The complete opposite. Like, the George Pickens is the exact guy the Lions would never go out and get.
Exactly.
Like, it's just he's not a guy you build your team around.
And people say that J-Mo was like Pickens, but he's not.
He's not.
Like, he's just not. J-Mo is all about football. He has like a personality. He's a little different or whatever. But like, you can never question that guy's love for football ever. So I know that people.
He's a little goofy.
St. Brown on his podcast
sometimes doesn't always know the rules.
Yeah. St. Brown a couple weeks ago on his podcast compared them, like, and I just like was listening and I'm like, yeah, okay, like with like the post touchdown celebrations and stuff like that, but like as for like the love of the game, I mean, I don't really.
Yeah, not in terms of effort, play in and play out. I agree with you. Well, but another big game from a Lions perspective was the battle in the NFC North. And that was the Packers and Bears. That was probably the biggest game this week. Packers pull it out 28-21 at home, get the interception in the end zone in the final drive. Caleb Williams throws the pick. Packers kind of take control now. What's crazy about this NFC, the Bears went into this week as the number 1 seed. They drop a close battle in Green Bay and fall all the way down to 7, and they're looking at their rearview mirror with the Lions right behind them, knowing that they got to play them in the last game of the season. Like, just it's just so wild how these things change from week to week and game to game. But guys, Lawrence, I'll start with you. What were your general thoughts on this Lions-Bears or Packers-Bears game?
Not to take away from Herm Edwards, but they are who I thought they were. I'll say this. It was a closer game than I thought, even though the final score is a little bit closer, because I know the Pack were kind of running away with it for a little bit. I don't know, man. Like I said, I am not sold on the Bears whatsoever. I feel like they're going to lose again to Green Bay, and they're going to lose to Detroit, and they're going to be out. I know we're going to get into the playoff stuff here in a little bit, but I just don't trust the Bears, man. Like I know they've got a great running game. Maybe it's I just don't trust Caleb Williams yet.
I can understand that. Dustin, what were your thoughts?
I thought that it was very like looking at the numbers and everything, like 50-50, kind of like we want to run 50% of the time, we want to pass, we want to do this, we want to do that. And as for the last play of that game, I watched a lot of reviews on it and whatever, and honestly, if you'd have threw it like a second sooner, it would have been a touchdown, I believe, to Loveland. And he had a check down to Swift, I believe, on that play, and he could have ran for it. So literally, there was, who knows, to get a touchdown there, they're going for 2. I mean, it's the Dan Campbell official tree. So
do you really think they're for 2 at that point?
Ben Johnson basically confirmed it. Like
wow.
He said they're going for 2. Like they were going to go.
I figured that. I didn't hear that, but I kind of figured that.
I heard it. There was a video clip out there. He's like, yeah, we were going to go for 2 because, I mean, the play was the right play. It's just the young quarterback didn't execute it. And, I mean, I don't know how many
What do you guys think about? Yeah, what do you guys think about that? Because I know there was a little bit of heat on Ben Johnson for having Caleb Williams roll out to his opposite hand. So he rolled out to his left. He's a right-handed quarterback, so there was some talk about that. What were you guys' thoughts on that? Do you thought that was a good play call, or do you think that was the right move?
I didn't think it mattered.
I never like a quarterback having to throw across his body. If you're going to do that play, yeah, fair. But I mean, if you're going to do that play, at least make it easier for your quarterback. Run them to the right. There may have been a little gamesmanship thinking, oh, well, they didn't think we were going to run to the left, so we're going to go to the left. But all you did was make it more difficult for your quarterback. So
right.
I guess the thinking was because I heard Jason Garrett talk about it on the NBC show after the Sunday night game. They were talking. He was saying basically like, hey, you roll him to the left because you think the defense is thinking that he's going to roll to the right because he's right-handed. So you're trying to get him away from their best pass rusher, and usually in a situation like that, the strong side defensive end is going to line up a little bit wider and have a strong rush, while the weak side end is going to more crash down because he's thinking the quarterback's going to roll away from him. So you generally can get yourself an opportunity where you can get your quarterback rolled out and have some time where you're not going to have to face that pass rush, which is already pinning their ears back and coming right at you. So I think that's the thought process is like, ideally you don't want him rolling out to the opposite hand, but also it's an opportunity to potentially give him more time and get away from that pass rush.
And do we know? So, and I can't remember the play exactly. Where was Micah lined up on that play? Was he backside chasing, or would they run the play at him?
I would assume they ran the play at him because I don't think you'd put him on right, but I'm not sure.
Well, I'm wondering too. Then if that's a check down or a check at the line of scrimmage, okay, Micah's on the right side, so we need to run left so we can
whatever
run the play
way
at him.
Whatever way he's lined up, roll away from him.
Right.
Or roll at him to keep him out of the play. I mean, because if you really don't want him chasing, like just go back to the Cowboys-Packers game when Dak kind of went to his left and Micah shoestrung tackled him because he had him from the backside.
I mean, let's be real. Like, it doesn't really matter. I don't think it really matters too much. He's going to find a way, man. The guy's an absolute freak.
Yeah.
But I think that's the general consensus is that's why you call it. Like in
Yeah.
general, that's why you call it, is to try to avoid a straight on pass rush and try to find the best way to give your quarterback time to get the ball down the field, even if it is to the opposite end. So I know, Lawrence, you think that the Bears are going to end up falling out. You
Yes.
think that's what their long term is. What do we think about the Packers? Do we think they're a threat to get the 1 seed, and do we think they're going to win the division here?
I'm in the minority here, but there's a world where they could fall out too. This remaining schedule that they have is insane. The Broncos remind me of the Detroit Lions last year. It's a home game for the Broncos. I think they're going to pull it out. The next week, they play the Bears again. 2 out of 3 weeks, same team. You never know.
In Chicago this time.
Yeah, exactly. And then they play the Ravens, who are going to be all out desperate. I mean, that's probably their season right there. And then they finish at the Vikings, who they kicked the crap out of, who are mad at them too. So I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I feel like they probably beat the Vikings. It's hard to predict them to lose 3 in a row, and it probably comes off like a hater based off the season that they've had. But I still think there's a decent chance they go 1-3 to 2-2, and maybe they still win the division, but it's going to be close.
I'm kind of where Lawrence is at. I think the Bears end up falling out. I think that last game with the Lions, I think that's going to be a win and get in for both teams, losing or out. And I think the Packers are going to win the division, and I think they're going to finish in the 2 seed. And I think we're headed for a Packers-Lions first-round playoff game. That's where I kind of see things going. Lawrence, where are you at with the Packers?
Yeah, I could see. I definitely see them winning the division, and definitely a 2 seed, because I think the winner of the NFC East is going to be the 3, and then I think the South will be your 4 seed. This game against, I know we're going to talk about too, but this Lions-Rams game, if the Lions somehow win that game, the Packers may have a chance at that 1 seed.
Yeah.
Well, if the Lions somehow win that game, the Lions get a chance at the. I mean, everything's on the table if the Lions win that game. We'll get into that in a minute, but that game is unbelievably huge.
I got my NFC notes right here, and literally no division set. I mean, the NFC West is crazy. I mean, if the Rams could win it, I mean, the 49ers have an easier schedule now because the Colts got terrible luck, and they play each other, and they play the Titans, the Bears, the Seahawks, so that's the 49ers schedule. The Rams got Lions, Seahawks, Falcons, Cardinals. So, and then what's the other team in that division?
Seattle.
The Seahawks. The Seattle is pretty tough. They got Colts, Rams, Panthers, 49ers. So that division's crazy. You have no idea what's going to happen. And then,
I think it's a safe bet that all 3 of those teams will be in the playoffs.
I think so. And then the Panthers, Bucks, like you said, that they play each other 2 of the next weeks, 16 and 18. So that's going to be the division. Like we talked about a little bit ago, the Eagles could go 2-2, and maybe the Cowboys went out. I mean, I don't think anything's set.
Let's mention that real quick, because I don't have that game up for us to talk about. But man, a huge upset for the Bucks losing to the Saints out of nowhere. I thought we talked about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I thought this was done and over. I thought the Bucks were easily winning this division. It was going to be a cakewalk for them. And all of a sudden, man, they're in an absolute dogfight with the Panthers.
Yeah, they're crazy. They're hurt. They got so many injuries along the offensive line, on the defense. I mean, it's just they're kind of like the Lions last year, but without all the dubs. I mean, they got
Baker's been beat up really all
year.
Baker's injuries.
Godwin,
he's going to try his best to play through everything, but he's beat up too, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's wild. I had no thought of the Panthers, 4 or 5 weeks ago. They weren't even on the radar.
The Panthers are weird though, because they'll lose to crap teams or whatever, like you said, the Saints or whatever, but then they'll beat the Packers and the Rams, and it's
and they also beat the Cowboys.
Cowboys, yeah, that's another team that probably falls in the middle of that tier.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and switch gears here, guys. Let's talk about we'll go to the Eagles-Chargers game here next. And Chargers pull it out 22-19, kind of a wild game, really kind of ugly. if I'm being honest, most of the game, a lot of turnovers, just some real ugly play. You can understand from the Chargers side, they have no offensive line. The offensive line is just absolutely decimated. Herbert's playing with a broken left hand. He's just trying to gut it out. He's running for his life. But the Eagles, man, their offense is just a disaster, right? They cannot get anything going. No consistency at all.
This is going to sound, obviously wearing these colors, this is going to sound very...
Yeah, I was waiting for your opinion, Lawrence. I was waiting for you to
very hater-esque, but that's what happens when you put a running back at quarterback.
Oh, calm down.
Look,
I mean, you just won a Super Bowl last year. I don't even like the guy.
I know.
People are like, "Oh, Jared Goff ain't better than him because he won a Super Bowl." I'm like, Jared Goff's better than Jalen Hurts. I mean,
yes, and honestly, this
better than Jalen Hurts. I mean,
you're not gonna. I know Jalen Hurts had a great game. Good, good for him. But the last I checked, wins were not a quarterback stat. He had a great defense that played for him, got him the ball, held Mahomes to next to nothing. But you can see, they lost by 3 in overtime, and he turned the ball over 5 times. So obviously the defense is okay. He's got to. I don't understand why they do not play to his strengths, which is run that. You got Saquon Barkley back there. Why are you not running more of that kind of option-esque offense and letting these 2 guys just beat you to death on the ground? I get it. You got A.J. Brown. You got Devontae Smith. Well, you can't get him the ball anyway because your quarterback's not accurate. So what are you doing?
Yeah. I mean, if I'm Philly, I'm zone reading teams to death.
Yes.
And I'm using Hurts. I'm running Hurts like crazy. Like now they got to. I mean, it's now or never. They got to start getting things going. But I would zone read to death, and then I play action off of it to your 2 stud receivers on the outside. Like I don't understand. You look at these stats. You got Hurts throwing the ball 40 times, barely over 50%. And then you look at their rushing totals. They ran the ball for 5.4 yards a carry, and they ended up only scoring 19 points. It's like, what are you guys doing? Like, run the ball. Run the ball.
It's because they won't acknowledge the fact that they have a problem with their main receiver in the locker room. So they're trying to force feed him the ball, trying to keep him happy. And it's not working.
Yeah, but they run such basic routes, and it's like you can't read anything. So that's part would fall back on the running back at quarterback thing. It's like he just his timing's off, everything's off. It's like what was it, 3 years ago that they had that issue, or 2 years ago they had that collapse?
Well, it's because they keep on. What do they? How many offensive coordinators have they cycled through now? It's one every year.
Yeah.
But even that year where they started 10-1 and then they collapsed, that they were having the same problems. A.J. Brown was chirping. There was all these issues with the locker room and people talking and this, that. Then they kind of got together last year. They got their Super Bowl, and now they're right back to where they were again. Now they're in the middle of a collapse. How are you going to fix it?
Well, this goes back to
the Raiders.
Circle back to the Lions a little bit too. We talked about how the Lions build a team around guys like St. Brown, right? And the Lions have passed up on guys that were maybe more talented in the draft because they wanted better character guys. Where the Eagles go for all talent. They don't care about any character. They don't care about any of that crap. They care about talent. They're going to get the best talent. They're going to find a way to get the most talent in that locker room, regardless of everything else. Well, you're seeing it. Well, they've won. They've won championships. But on the back end, you're going to get this type of situation where you get guys bickering. As soon as stuff goes a little bit negative, you guys aren't going to be leaders. Guys are going to start bickering, and guys are going to want theirs. Just like an A.J. Brown is going to want his catches, regardless of whether they're winning or losing. And this is the stuff you get. But is it worth it? Is it worth it when you say they won a Super Bowl? As Lions fans, the hell with it. I don't care what the character is. Go win a Super Bowl.
Right.
Yeah, it's worth it. But, Jalen Carter, right when you're explaining that scenario, it's a perfect situation because the Lions did not bring him in pre-draft at all. They didn't talk to him, didn't want him, and they traded from 6 to 12 in 34 and got Jahmyr Gibbs and Sam Laporta instead of taking him at 6 when he fell to 9 or 10, either way. people were so mad that they didn't take him. But
do you know how mad they would have been if they weren't able to make the trade? Because they were going to take Gibbs at 6 anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
Fans would have been irate. And then look at them now. But they both turned out to be fantastic players.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hopefully Laporta's neck works out okay. I think it's his next one.
Yeah. But where are we at then with the Eagles? I mean, we can circle back to it, Lawrence. Like, both Dustin and I think the Cowboys can make a run, and the Eagles. I mean, you've watched them the last 2 weeks. They don't look like a playoff team.
No,
and they definitely don't look like a division champion.
And I'm not really sure why my gut tells me they turn it around in time to win this division, but it's just something gnawing at me saying, okay, yeah, they'll turn it around. For me, I hope the Cowboys went out and put pressure on them, and I think that's the key. Is if the Cowboys can win out, maybe the Eagles do feel that pressure and maybe they do tank, and just they kind of eat each other up and at the end and they just choke. Because you go into this week, if Dallas is they have the Sunday night game.
Yeah.
So the Eagles are going to go into that Raider game, which they probably win. But if the Cowboys then win on Sunday night, what are all the shows going to be talking about on Monday? Oh, the Cowboys are only a game back from the Eagles. Can the Eagles, and it's just going to keep on compounding. So
now if the Eagles somehow lose, my goodness.
Look, you know what?
I'll
say yes. If the Eagles lose to the Raiders, they're done, and it's up to the Cowboys to win out.
If they lose to Kenny Pickett, because it sounds like
yes, it is going to be Kenny Pickett.
Smith's going to be out.
Yep, yeah. Kenny Pickett is starting.
Good Lord. But yeah, honestly, the Cowboys' best friend might be if the Chargers can somehow beat the Chiefs this upcoming week, because then the Chargers can just rest everybody, and they'll probably 5-0 in division at that point. They probably could just coast to like a 6 seed or something.
Well,
AFC's not as difficult.
As you guys are Lions fans, so you know the drill. I'm not counting on any team to help me out doing anything.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So where do you guys see the Chargers at this point, man? Like they keep winning games somehow, but that offensive line, there's nothing there. I mean, there's nothing there. And how much longer is Herbert going to last?
Yeah, that's the key. Got to keep them upright. But because they can definitely run the ball. I mean, the offensive line is good enough for them to run and get 160 yards a game. So, at that point, that's just going to help.
66 of those were from Herbert, though. I was looking at it earlier. He had almost like more like per rushing than passing. Like he was like 12 completions, it says, for 20 out of 26. So like he was running for his life. Obviously, those tackles are just not it. So
right,
they honestly probably need, like, if they can just go 2-2, they'll make it. The Chargers.
Yeah, they feel like they're going to somehow scratch their way in and be a one and done. That's kind of what it's feeling like for the Chargers, man. But if they had their full offensive line healthy, they'd be able to compete and contend, man. They'd be a huge threat in the AFC.
I mean,
yeah,
because like the Broncos, I mean, that game would actually mean something in the end of the year, because like that'd be fun, right? But not gonna happen. So.
Well, another battle in AFC here. This is AFC North battle. Ravens and Steelers. AFC North has just been, really down this year. But this was a battle between a couple 6-6 teams, and the Steelers are able to pull it out. The Ravens, man, Super Bowl contender, before the season, but injuries and just, man, again, another team with just inconsistencies with their offense, just doesn't seem to be able to get it clicking and get it going. I mean, they did have 420 yards in this game, but man, it just seemed like at key times they weren't able to make the big plays when they were necessary. What are you guys' thoughts on this one?
Go ahead, Dustin.
So at the end of the game, Isaiah Likely had that overturned touchdown or whatever. I don't know what a touchdown is. Like literally 1-2, third foot comes down, he hits it out. It's like,
oh yeah,
it should have been a touchdown. Ravens probably should have won this game, but they didn't. So it's going to be interesting for them. I mean, looks like Aaron Rodgers is managing his broken hand as well, right? Kind of like Herbert. So he's managing. I mean, I look forward to having an early Christmas present next week when the Lions beat Aaron Rodgers one more time. But overall, it was just one of those AFC North football games where the defense does pretty well, and who's going to get more? Just classic AFC North football.
The Ravens are a absolute mystery for me.
Yeah.
Like you said, beginning of the year, man, like they were kind of penciled in as one of those top Super Bowl contenders, and that first game that they played, they just looked like, you just watched that game and you were like, wow, physical, fast, like, they're just flying and doing all, and then something happened, and it's doesn't even look like the same team anymore. Derrick Henry looks old for some reason all of a sudden, and Lamar Jackson can't keep out of his own way.
He's not healthy though. That's the problem with him.
Yeah,
and it's just,
and he missed some time too. That contributes to it. And
but you knew he had to get back because they wouldn't have any chance if he didn't come back when they did. Didn't they play like the Jets or something? I mean, you got to get these wins against the crappy schedule, because like they had a tough first 6, and then it was like nothing until this back.
Even in their wins, they're not playing well. So it's a tough thing. Like, it's weird because you may see this could be how many years has it been since both Baltimore and Kansas City missed the playoffs?
God, when was the last time Kansas City missed the playoffs?
They've been to the NFC Championship every year of Mahomes' career, isn't it? Some nonsense like that.
Yeah,
it has to be like 2000 Ravens teams, maybe 2007 or something randomly. A random year where the Ravens are bad in the early 2000s. Like, I don't know.
So I think we're probably all in the same kind of boat with this. Like, it doesn't feel like AFC North really has anything to offer. Like, somebody's going to make the playoffs because somebody's going to win the division. But unless it's the Ravens and they get healthy and it starts to click towards the end, but it's getting late, man. It just doesn't feel like it's going to happen for them this season. Kind of feels like a bit of a lost season for them. Yep. And if it ends up being Pittsburgh, that makes it, man. Does anybody feel like Pittsburgh's going to win a playoff game?
No.
They haven't won a playoff game, 8 years, something like that?
Yeah, imagine if it's like the Ravens are the 4 seed and the Bills are the 5 seed. They're like, oh, yay, we finally made it without Patrick Mahomes. Whoops.
Ravens would be, if the team that's going to get in that could do something, it would be the Ravens. Like, if they get in, you could see them getting hot and kind of putting it together. That the Steelers feel like they just got nothing to offer. Like, they feel like they're good if they find a way. They scratch and claw and find a way to get in, but they're going to be one and done if they do.
Yep,
they'll go 9-8. Keep the streak alive, but they don't got much else.
No.
Their schedule.
Has DK even played this year?
DK?
What's that?
Yeah, has DK Metcalf even, I know he's played, but you don't even hear about him anymore.
It seems quiet, yeah. It seems like he's
been never really talk about him.
So staying with an AFC North team, Cincinnati Bengals and Buffalo Bills. This was a fun one. This was a real fun one to watch in the snow in Buffalo. Absolute shootout, absolute wild one between Josh Allen and Burrow. Bills are able to pull it out 39-34. Just an absolute must win for the Bills, and they're able to pull it out. This is a game where it's like, 2-3 years ago, this is like AFC Championship level, caliber game, and they play like it. Like, the talent really showed up in this game. This was a heck of a fun to watch.
Yes.
But the Bills were able to pull it out. Lawrence, I'll start with you. Just what were your thoughts on this one? Bills 39, Bengals 34.
First thing is first. I love snow games.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's the optics, whatever, but just so cool to watch. Honestly, if not for a pick six, the Bengals really should have come out with that game, man. Like, they played the better football. But then Josh Allen put the cape on and did his thing, man. Like the dude he enters a different mode sometimes, man. Like watching him play is it's just fun to watch him play. And that play where he scrambled to get the first down to end the game, that shouldn't even be allowed, dude. That's just so crazy.
He might be the only player in the league that can do that. Like it's unreal.
He's an alien for sure.
Just incredible, man. But give it to Joe, like the Bengals and Joe Burrows, man. Burrows obviously came back because he wanted to play, and obviously he freaking balled out. So
you see his press conference?
No, I didn't.
I was gonna bring that up, guys. Yeah, he seemed pretty down.
I felt like I was watching Andrew Luck reincarnated.
Yeah, it was. Those were the talking points coming out of it, man. He just looked, well, if I'm not having fun, I don't know if I want to keep doing this. The point, I need to start having fun. It's like, dude, like, you all right? Like, they asked him, like, how you doing? Like, he's just like, is this more on the field or off the field? A little bit of both. It's like, okay, that doesn't sound great.
I mean, the on the field stuff. It's up to him as a leader. They go to your GM, go to your owners, be like, look, man, what are we doing here?
They're supposed to have $80 million in space, and they should absolutely spend it all on the defense. Like, you don't have to bring back Hendrickson or whatever, but like, there's guys out there you can get a good defense with that amount of money. I mean, like, the offensive line really hasn't been as bad as years past. I mean, they've put a lot of resources into it, tried fixing it up. The issue is he's getting beat up and his body's getting all banged up and everything. But then now that they have a better offensive line, when he gets hit even less now, it's starting to affect him. So hopefully, he's one of my favorite players to watch. I hope he gets back on track because I love watching Joe Burrow.
Yes, awesome. He's another one. I think even though I like Chase Brown, I think they do need to add somewhere in at running back to take the pressure off of him.
I like Chase Brown as well.
Where do we see Buffalo? Obviously still behind the Patriots. It's a big game coming up this week. But they still feel like, and they're going to be battling to get in the playoffs. It feels like maybe the division, let's see if they beat the Patriots next week in New England, it kind of opens that up again, but still feels like the division might be pretty tough to get. But it feels like they're going to get in the playoffs, man. Like, they're absolutely a threat, from a wild card spot.
I can't imagine a team wanting to play them.
No.
Patriots or Broncos, man, that'd be crazy.
That's obviously Buffalo's problem is they just have no defense, which seems odd because I feel like in years past, like they've always had a relatively good defense. Nothing special, but it's at least been able to like keep them in games.
McDermott's been able to coach it up as his strength, but if they don't win this, if they don't make the Super Bowl this year, he probably should be fired. It's probably time to try a new pitch.
They might be one of those cases where they're the road team in the first round, but they're actually the favorite.
Oh yeah,
I kind of see that happening.
Yeah, like matchup wise, what they could get. I mean, Ravens, they probably maybe like a 1.5 point favorite, maybe a 1 point underdog. I mean,
if they're playing the Ravens, I think they'd be the favorite.
I don't know, but it's like betting lines and Lamar and home. But
right,
I think they'd be favored against the Patriots. I think they be the favorites against.
Well, and then which version of Lamar do you get? Do you get playoff Lamar or do you get regular season Lamar?
To be fair, their biggest nightmare might be if the Texans win that division.
Right.
Like we just saw that happen a couple of weeks ago. That could literally ruin it all because that defense is incredible. So,
well, let's go ahead and get into that one then. Texans and Chiefs, and the Texans pulled this one out 20-10, and man, this kind of felt like maybe the end of the Chiefs' run. At least for this season. Just some weird plays, man. Some weird decisions from Andy Reid. A 4th down decision in his own territory. You got Kelsey dropping a ball that goes into an interception. It just felt like, this is it. This is it for the Chiefs. And from the Texans' perspective, man, that defense is something else, man. They're going to be a problem, and they got a chance now to try to take that division potentially, but at least get in the playoffs. And if they get in, man, they're going to be a problem for any team they face. So we'll start with you, Lawrence. Here, what were your thoughts on this one?
I've been saying it for most of this year, man. Don't let the Texans get any kind of offense of any kind because that defense is horrific to play. They give up 16 points a game, 15 points a game, and they're physical, they're fast. If they just get any kind of consistency on the offensive side, they can absolutely win that division. And that's another team you don't want to have to play because they can shut you down, man. They look at what you do well and they shut it down.
Dustin, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I thought like you mentioned, the Andy Reid, what was it, like on their own 20? Like it's like a tie game or something. Wasn't it tied?
I think it was 10-10. I think it was at their own 32, I believe. Like 4th and 2, 4th and 3. And he admitted after the game, he's like, "That's on me. That was a bad call. Like I put my team in a bad position, and it was just a bad call." And it's like, what is going on?
Well,
what's going on with these guys, man?
Well, we're talking about all the other great quarterbacks, so we might as well talk about Mahomes. And I think those receivers had to have like 7 drops. I mean, it was just he's doing everything he can. And I mean,
Kelsey included. Man.
Yeah, no, it's a tough year for him. I mean, going into the season, you wouldn't have been like, man, that schedule's crazy, but it turned out to be a daunting schedule. I mean, they beat the Lions, but they lost it. Like their tiebreaker scenarios are terrible. They're pretty much done. I mean, Texans, Jaguars, division games. I mean, most of the teams they've lost to are better than them, and most of the teams they kicked the crap out of, Raiders, they're better than them. So it's just they're gonna have to look in the mirror and figure out what they want to do for the future because people are saying their offensive line, but if they're healthy, it's good. I mean, they drafted the left tackle out of Ohio State. They have the highest paid guard in the NFL. They have the highest paid center in the NFL. Their other guard is a 2nd-round pick. I mean, they paid a tackle to replace the Florida tackle that always jumps off sides. But they paid another guy on their bench that's like making $15 million. So like the offensive line is not the problem either. So they're gonna have to make some soul searching.
I think.
What do you think? What do you think it is? What do you think they need to improve? Is it receivers? Do they? I mean, I would think this is. I got to think this is going to be Kelsey's last year. I would think he's going to be retired.
I think he'll try to push one. I think he'll do one more year.
So?
I think he will. But Rice is a good receiver, like really good
when he's healthy.
When he's healthy, well, when he's not suspended for being dumb,
that too.
But they need an elite running back first of all because running backs are terrible. I mean, the Notre Dame guy, I could see him trading up in the draft and taking him like 12th or something, depending on where they finish.
Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, like I think they want a running back, that's for sure. I mean, the defense. I mean, George K. I can't say his last name, but he's pretty good. I mean, Jones is getting older. I mean, they just need to like fine tune it. Like people are gonna think they need to go on a full rebuild, but like they do like 2-3 things, and they'll probably be the number 1 seed again next year. It's just
number 1 would definitely be the running back position for sure.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, that would be interesting. It'd be interesting to see where Love kind of falls in mock drafts. Because we've always had this debate here locally with how high do you draft a running back, and we saw how well it did for the Lions when they drafted Gibbs where they drafted Gibbs.
It's not 5 years ago anymore. Not 5 years ago anymore.
I know. Yeah, I thought it was really dumb then, the criticism they got. But.
No, I agree. But I'm just saying it's really come back. I mean, look at all these teams that have like good running games. I mean, James Cook on the Bills. I mean, all these playoff teams. I mean, they have a good running backs or invested capital. Like the Broncos, they took a running back in the 2nd round this year. The Patriots took a running back in the 2nd round this year. Packers have Josh Jacobs. Like all these teams have that are in the playoff hunt. Christian McCaffrey and the 49ers. I mean, all these teams in the hunt have a good running situation. And if you look at all these stats, like when I was going through making my notes for this, so many of these elite quarterbacks were like 50% completions. It was like or less. It was like crazy how
think about it. I mean, we're in December. Bad weather, man.
I mean, it just hasn't felt that way in the past few years. It's been like offense. But these defenses, like we just talked about the Texans right now. I mean, it's just weird. It's like going back in time. I mean, it's really
that's how football is, though, man. It's cyclical.
Yep.
Defenses start to game plan against these high-powered passing attacks, and then you start getting a little bit lighter in defense, and you get these big pass rush ends that maybe aren't the great against the run. That leads to offenses switching, and being, well, these defenses are hard to pass against. So we got to be better on the offensive line. We got to get bigger. We got to get good running backs. We got to be able to run the ball. So it all just, it all comes full circle eventually. So that's kind of what we're seeing. But you got to be able to run the ball. Like you're going to be playing outside in December, in January, in the playoffs. You have to be able to run the ball. I don't care who you are.
Absolutely.
So with the Texans, we mentioned that they might be putting some pressure to win this division now. Colts, Jags, and the Colts are just in a free fall. Absolute free fall. Injuries are killing them. The big one out of this one is Daniel Jones out for the year, and they're gonna go. They're so desperate for a quarterback. They're going to Phillip Rivers,
Grandpa,
rolling him out of retirement. Hasn't played in 5 years. 44 years old. He's literally a grandpa, and they're going to try to go to him to try to save the day. But the Jaguars win this game 36-19, and the Jaguars are taking control of this division now.
So I know they signed him to the practice squad. Are they actually thinking that he's going to play this week?
Yeah. So Anthony Richardson's still on IR, and then the Leonard. I can't remember his first name, but Leonard has like a
Riley Leonard.
Riley Leonard. There we go. He has some sort of like strain or something. So that's normally like a 2-week injury. So it sounds like he's going to start.
Golly.
Against the Seahawks,
Seattle.
Who has and then the week after is the 49ers, and then the week after is the Texans. And he might die.
Good God, the Seahawks are going to destroy the Colts.
Yeah,
it's going to be brutal.
It's nasty.
Wow.
I mean, I'm hoping for this great story. This guy comes off the couch. He's a grandpa. He's 44 years old. Let's be real, guys. This is the NFL, man.
In their other games, the Jaguars, who have a good pass rush. Literally, Seahawks, 49ers, Jaguars, Texans.
God.
That's a heck of a gauntlet. I feel bad for them because they started off really well, and it's bad.
Yeah, I think they started off great, and then they trade for Sauce Gardner, and then he gets hurt, and now Daniel Jones gets hurt.
That GM was on the hot seat for sure. He was desperate, and
yeah,
I feel that was a part of the trade. But I feel like they did enough to where he probably would have been safe. But then this collapse. I mean, for Anthony Richardson not to be able to play right now because a pregame eye or something.
Dude,
it's what kind of luck? And then they have the cornerback award or whatever, that they paid good money this offseason
during practice
in the pregame
warm up.
What is the same pregame that Richardson hurt his eye? By the way, that's not even showing up. I mean,
man, oh man,
just terrible luck.
Were they number one in your rankings at one point, Lawrence?
Yes, because they were balling they were showing they were beating everybody.
I know. I'm not saying you were wrong to do so. I'm just trying to point out that's where they were at one point.
Yeah.
People were talking this is maybe a Super Bowl contender. They just keep on winning and look great. And then it's just completely falling apart in every possible way.
And then Daniel Jones with his he had the leg injury going into it, which can cause Achilles issues. Then his Achilles goes out, and he was probably going to get a Sam Darnold contract that he got with the Seahawks for 3 for $100, and now he's probably going to be on an incentive-laden deal again this upcoming season. It's just terrible for everybody. Oh, and we didn't talk about Jonathan Taylor. Literally was the favorite for Offensive Player of the Year 3 weeks ago. Is down to 8%. He was a 90% favorite. Is down to 8%. He's not even in the conversation anymore. It's JSN or McCaffrey or whoever.
Well, no. Now all they got to do is they just load up to stop him because they know they're not going to be able to throw the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get down, and then you got to throw the ball, and you take him out of the game. It's looking rough, man. It's looking real rough for the Colts, man. It was so promising for them for so long. And but on the other end of the spectrum, man, you got the Jaguars, who another team were kind of felt like they kind of came out of nowhere a little bit, and now they're in control of this division. And it looks like, I think we all kind of in agreement the Colts are looking like they're done. Just based on circumstance, and now it's going to be between the Jaguars and the Texans for this division.
I don't know if you guys remember, but I was begging last year, please Jaguars, please hire Ben Johnson, and they would have the same situation right now. I was begging for it. I thought it was perfect for him. Stay away from the Bears. It would have been perfect. But Liam Cohen, I thought was probably the third best candidate in the cycle behind Mike Vrabel and Ben Johnson. So it's really worked out for him. He has a weird energy to him, but that's okay. I don't know if you guys seen any of those videos, but
Duval.
yeah, whatever.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Weird energy, but I mean, he seems like a good coach, a good play caller. It's weird how he ended up there, but it's worked out for him. I think it would have worked out good with Ben Johnson too, but he picked Caleb Williams over Trevor Lawrence, and that's okay.
Yeah, it is what it is. But
Yep,
so where do we see, guys, this division between the Jaguars and the Texans? Who do you think's going to end up taking it in the end?
I think. Okay, so the Jaguars remaining schedule. They play the Jets this week. Should be a win. They play the Broncos. Probably a loss. They play the Colts, and then they play the Titans. So at worst, they should go 3-1. So.
And what's their game lead on the division right now? 1 or 2?
I think it's. Well, the Texans beat them. They split against the Texans. So. Yeah, it'll be.
Yeah, they have one game lead then right now.
Yeah.
Jaguars are 9-4. Texans are 8-5. And you said they split, Dustin?
Yeah.
So
they'd probably lean the Jaguars, I would assume.
So yeah, 3. If they go 3-1, I would lean the Jaguars. Then I really hope actually Houston does come back and take it. But
to be fair, Houston could win out because they play the Cardinals, Raiders, Chargers, who might be resting people, and the Colts.
Who's got the better division record?
Division record.
Houston's 4-1, Jacksonville's 3-1.
Oh, you got me. Yeah. But the Titans they should beat. So
if the Jaguars go 3-1 and the Texans win out, that puts them tied. Division records would be tied.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next tiebreaker?
Is it conference?
I think it's
common
I think you're right.
I think it's common opponents.
Oh,
I think it goes common opponents, then conference. So it's gonna be a cluster. It's gonna be really close. I mean, for the Jaguars, I guess if they get through it, and they can play a good game against the Broncos, I mean, maybe they can beat them. You never know. I mean,
is that game in Denver or is it in Jacksonville?
It looks to be in Denver, yeah. So tough one.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm leaning between the two teams, I'd lean Texans, but they're a game behind. So you look at all the other tiebreakers. It's just, man, it feels like it's dead even.
Yeah,
so like I said, feels like a toss up.
The Jaguars might play the 3 worst teams in the NFL by record at the end of the year: Jets, Titans. Well, not Colts, but sorry, I was just thinking about how terrible the last 4 weeks are going to be for them.
They might as well be. I mean,
yeah,
playing Philip Rivers.
Yeah. Well, it's the Jets pick now, so whatever.
And I'm wondering how serious the Jets and the Titans would be playing when they got number 1 draft pick trying to get ahead of time.
Yeah. Tough.
Yeah. Well, that kind of wraps up our looking back at some of the key games from last week. Lawrence, we're going to bring up your power rankings here, your top 10 rankings, and kind of break through them here. I don't know, but Dustin, if you look at this, is there anything that actually I'll let you go ahead and start off, Lawrence. What were your thought process when you put these together?
So I still look at the Rams as the team to beat just because both offensively and defensively, when they're right, I don't know that really anybody can beat them. That game against the Panthers aside, it's just one of those. I think it's just one of those rare games that a team has. But again, if you look like both Seattle and San Francisco, any one of those 3 teams can win that division.
Yeah.
So, that's going to be kind of a fluid thing. This Detroit Rams game coming up, if Detroit wins that game and say, you said Seattle's got the Colts, it's this top 10 is going to be very, very fluid because a lot of these teams actually play each other this week. New England, Buffalo, Detroit, the Rams. Green Bay,
Packers,
Denver,
Broncos.
So there's going to be some definite movement. I really was toying with the notion of having Philadelphia really farther down, but
I would
That was
have
what I was going to bring up. I thought Philadelphia was a little high, especially considering they've lost two weeks in a row and just have not looked good, which we talked about.
yep. So I was going to flip them with San Francisco, but I kind of gave them the benefit of the doubt because they're leading the division, and I do feel like they're going to get it right. So,
Any thoughts of putting the Jaguars in there, as we just talked about, leading
Jaguars
their
are-
division?
Jaguars
got the big
are
win over
11.
the Colts.
Okay.
Yeah,
We're the
because
Texans.
it's one of those things. I thought like, maybe the Jaguars
Texans are
should be
12.
in there, but
Okay.
like anything, if you have the Jaguars, it's like, okay, well, you got to take a team out, and it's like, who
Right.
do you take out? I maybe the Lions. I guess the other one would be the Eagles, but I don't know if the Eagles
You-
deserve to fall all the way out of the rankings this week. So it's just tough, man. It's tough to take somebody out to put somebody in, but definitely the Jaguars and the Texans are knocking
Yep.
on the door here.
those if this was college football or college basketball, I should say, Texans and Jaguars are my first two in.
Yeah, our first two out. They'd be the
First two out. First two out. Yeah.
Dustin, any thoughts? Anything jump out at you?
I think the top 5 is the right teams. I might have a different order. I wouldn't have the Eagles in right now. Probably have them like 12. I would have the Bears at 11. And I would have the Texans and Jaguars in that top 6 to 10 somewhere. But overall, I mean, looks pretty good.
You would have the Lions above Chicago?
To beat them head to head, I think they're gonna. I mean, yeah, I would. I mean, the Bears haven't beat anybody. I mean, I guess they beat the Eagles, but look what they've been doing. So I don't know. I just don't really believe in them still. I'd have them 11. I mean, I'd give them enough respect.
Yeah, you guys are gonna make me like back the Bears, man. I don't want to back the Bears and Ben Johnson, but man, I can't get over that game a couple weeks ago when they went into Philly and beat them the way they did. Like just ran all over them against that
Lions
defense.
play the
and
same
that
style
rush. I
against
couldn't
them. They
believe it.
just didn't get it, you know.
And they almost,
Eagles
they had
defense
the
is
Packers on the
incredible.
ropes, man. Like I said, if Caleb Williams makes that pass and they go for
They'll
2,
win
they win.
teams.
Well, that's why I didn't drop them out yet. They're proving me wrong right now.
I would have the Texans 6 though. That would be like my big difference. I'd
Yeah,
put the
that'd
Texans
be
at
a big
6.
one.
Okay.
That was just like I just think that defense they're getting hot.
Mhm.
I mean, the offense, like you said, if they can do anything, I mean, even if they can get like 24 points a game, it's like good luck.
Right.
Yeah, I really don't have too much critiques. The only thing I would probably have Philly maybe drop. I'd have them maybe 9th, and everybody else just jump up. I'd keep Detroit 10th. I'd keep Philly above Detroit because Philly won the head-to-head. But I would definitely have Chicago above Philly because Chicago beat them in their house and had the better record. So that would be the only thing. I'd probably just switch Philadelphia, move them to 9, move everybody else up. That would be the only change I would have. But I think we're pretty much all in agreement, relatively 1 through 12, what teams should be in that.
Right.
Be in that 12, the top 12 range of. And to me, like the top 12, those are the teams that have a shot. Have a shot in this thing. So, no, that's pretty cool.
Crazy.
And
no
that's
way.
something we'll do every week.
Yes.
We'll do the power rankings. And I think next week we're talking about Dustin and I will bring our own to the table. We'll see. We'll talk about that. It puts a little bit more work on me to make more graphics. So we can maybe just keep this segment like we just did it, but we'll see. Maybe that's a little work in progress. But no, that's cool. And we appreciate you doing that, Lawrence. That's cool that you do that every week. It's a cool thing we bring to the table here. So let's go ahead and go through next week, fellas. Actually, let's do this. Let's see if I can find it here. Actually, let's do this. We'll go ahead and go through the week 15 schedule next week.
Ooh, here we go.
Before let's save the Lions Rams game for the end here. But what games jump out to you guys right away? Lawrence, I'll start with you. What are a couple of games that jump out?
Buffalo, New England, Green Bay, and Denver would be my top 2, other than obviously the Detroit Rams game. And then honestly, that Baltimore-Cincinnati game is pretty intriguing because I think from here on out, Baltimore is playing for their playoff life.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have to win the division. So that Baltimore-Cincy game, the Green Bay-Denver game, and then Buffalo-New England, because those are all of those games have huge meaning toward playoff seeding.
Dustin?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, one I would toss in there from a entertainment perspective is Colts versus Seahawks. You know, seeing Captain
See
Phillip
what
Rivers.
Rivers can do, what
Yeah.
Grandpa can do.
Oh, Grandpa, let's see. No, but and his 10 kids. Holy cow! But the game that I'm gonna have to eat some crow if the Packers beat the Broncos, because I still just all year I've just watched them, and Jordan Love, like, he's either really on or he's really off, and I still just don't believe it. But I mean, they still can win the division, and good for them. But I don't know. There's just a part of me, I just don't see him going 6-0 in the NFC North. I don't see him beating this team, and I don't know if I see him beating the Ravens. So,
Do you trust them to beat Bo? Well, let me rephrase. Do you trust Bo Nix to beat Green Bay?
They're 11-2. I mean, they're home. You got Sean Payton. I mean, you should be able to call something up, get the run game going, do something. I mean, obviously Parsons is on the other side, so that's tough, and Gary and all that. But the Broncos have the best offensive line in the NFL. So if any team is able to handle or whatever against that defensive line, I mean, I feel like it's the Broncos. I mean, I don't know. I just think it's in their home. I mean, that's a game I'm looking forward to for sure, outside of obviously the Lions and Rams. Same
Do
time.
we have an early line on that game?
What's that?
Is there an early line for that? What's the line on that game?
Ooh, that's interesting. I'm not sure. I know the Rams were favored by 5.5.
I mean, the Green Bay Denver game.
So what jumps off to me with the schedule is we got a full schedule, no bye weeks. So there's a ton of games, and I wanted to get your guys' opinion on this. Just looking at this, like, you think there was any talk about flexing that Minnesota-Dallas game out of the Sunday night? I know it's Dallas, but
No.
Minnesota at Dallas. I mean, man, if I'm NBC, I want Lions Rams.
I think the prime game proves that you don't. The Lions Cowboys prime game numbers proves that you don't switch that game out.
No, they'll never take Dallas out of a prime time spot because one, people either want to see them win like me, or people want to see them lose like everybody else. It's like there's literally no, like, it was like, Dallas Kansas City game Thanksgiving was the most watched in the world, and then Dallas Detroit. What are the common denominators there? It's freaking people just love and hate the Cowboys so much that these TV stations are never taking them out of that spot.
But the Broncos are 1.5 point favorites, by the way. So
that doesn't show a lot of confidence in Denver.
No, because they should, if they were home favorites, or the traditional line now is 2.5. So, they don't have much faith in them, it feels like. But I don't know. Like I said earlier, they remind me of the Lions of last year. Sean Payton's on one. I don't know. But
so, Dan, let me ask you. So, let's just say they did flex that Dallas-Minnesota game out. Who would you have put in that spot?
Oh, Lions-Rams.
Lions-Rams.
Just because, outside of Dallas, I think probably the Lions might be the highest rated team in the NFL in terms of TV ratings. And just that game is just so enormous in terms of what it means in the NFC for both teams involved, but really everybody that's in contention in the NFC. The outcome of that game just means so much, because if the Lions win that thing, it opens up things for a lot of different teams, including the Lions are there, because the Lions all of a sudden are right back into things for the division. They're right back in things for the number 1 seed. It opens up to potential for the Rams get the 1 seed. It opens up the division for the 49ers and the Seahawks. It's huge. It's about as huge a regular season game as you can have. So that would definitely be the game I would flex. And maybe I sound like a little bit of a Detroit homer, but I just think it just has such an enormous importance in the NFC.
No, you're not wrong. And then obviously you always have the Stafford connection too. So
there you go.
Yeah, We'll get into that in a minute. We're going to finish the show with the Lions Rams because there is something about. Don't let me forget that because there's something I want to ask you guys about the Stafford situation. But let's go ahead and go through. I'm going to go through some of these big games. We don't have to get through in depth, but I just kind of want to get you guys' picks and predictions. We'll start with the Buffalo New England game. Big game in that division. Buffalo needs to win it. They're going to have any shot in that division. Obviously, they're still fighting for their playoff lives, but to have any shot in the division, they got to win that game. New England can kind of close things up if they can get the home win. Lawrence, I'll start with you. How do you think that game's going to go?
I actually think Buffalo. I think Superman shows up. I think Buffalo wins that game on the road. I don't know what the line of that game is. I'm sure New England is favored. But I think I would actually take Buffalo to win that game outright.
So, Dustin, what do you got?
I agree. I believe in Bills 31, Patriots 21-24, something. I think it'll be like a pretty definitive win for the Bills at this point. I think they know they need it, and the Patriots got to fall off eventually, right? It's hard to.
You'd think so, man. You'd think so. They're another team that I think a lot of people just aren't giving a lot of credit to. Not nearly enough credit that they deserve. But this is going to be a clean sweep. I can't believe it. In New England, we're all picking the road team. But there's something with Buffalo. There's some magic there, man, with Josh Allen, man. It just feels like this is their time. They're going to get hot and they're going to get rolling. And I think they're going to get the win. But I think it's going to be an absolute battle, man.
The opening line, the Bills were 4.5-point favorites.
Really?
Wow.
In New England.
Yeah, it was updated.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it feels about right because that's about. I mean, I'd pick like 31.
Well, all three of us just picked Buffalo, so
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, people. I mean, if it was like 2.5 or something, people would be hammering Josh Allen and the Bills. So I guess it makes sense.
Wow.
Next game up, Green Bay at Denver. Obviously, huge implications for both teams, but both conferences. Everybody's going to be watching this game. So much on the line. Dustin, I'll let you start off with this one. Green Bay at Denver. What do you think?
I've been saying it the whole time. I think Denver's going to keep the streak going. 27-22 or something. Like, it's going to be a tight game. Maybe Love makes the – or he's going to be trying to make the – maybe it's like the same situation last week, kind of see it like Caleb Williams. Maybe he's the one that makes a mistake this week and near the end. But it should be a good one. I mean, a lot of good defenders on that Broncos team, obviously.
Is Surtain playing?
He is, yeah. Surtain's playing. I don't know. I feel like the matchups are kind of like strength on strength. I mean, the Broncos secondary is obviously better than the Packers receivers, but they've been kind of on a heater recently too. So
yeah, Watson's been red hot lately.
Yeah.
Lawrence, what do you think?
I'm going with the road team again. I think Green Bay is going to win this game. I like Bo Nix. I think he's going to be really good. I just don't know that I trust him yet this year, or at least trust him to win these big games. So I'm going to go with Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm on the fence on this one, man. As a Lions fan, I'm really hoping Denver can pull this one out. But, man, I'm just feeling Green Bay's going to get this one, man. I just do. I think Green Bay's going to take this one. Again, I think it's going to be a really good one. But, man,
I think they'll be the one seed.
I think so. I think they're going to be the 2 seed, as we talked about earlier. I think the Rams are going to, which we're going to talk about, but I think they're going to get the Lions. But yeah, I'm going to take Green Bay in this one and another good one. Before we get into the Lions Rams, is there any other games on this slate that we haven't talked about that kind of jump out at you? Maybe an upset, or maybe just a game that maybe looks like it should be a blowout that you think is going to end up being close? Anything jump out to you guys?
The Cleveland Browns are going to beat the Chicago Bears.
There you go. Hey, you Chicago haters, man.
They might finish 0-5 if they lose that game. Just saying. They got the 49ers, Lions, and Packers to close out the year. So the Lions might not even need to play anybody in Week 18 if that happens.
You sound like the absolute Lions homer, man. Like, come on.
I don't think they're going to lose the game. I'm just saying if they do, 49ers, Packers, Lions to close out your year, just saying. It would make a lot of sense based off their point differential being only +1. It would make, all these close games that they've won early.
You're a hater.
F the Bears.
Any other game in this slate jump out at you?
Wow. It's like really good games and really bad games.
Yeah, even with this full slate, it still doesn't seem like there's as many big games as you would think. There's some huge games, and then there's just a bunch of haves and have-nots.
Well,
there's a bunch of division games, and
I would say that Carolina New Orleans game could be.
I was going to point that one out. Yeah, New Orleans just jumped up and got Tampa last week, man. Carolina's feeling good. They're feeling like they're hot. They're in the race, and then all of a sudden, man, they could get popped too.
They just came off a bye though, too, so they've had that extra time. So I don't know. Yeah. Like it's like it doesn't matter though because they play each other 2 of the last 3 games of the year. So like Tampa and the Panthers.
Yeah, but I think if you can, you definitely want to be on an even ground going into those 2 games.
Oh yeah.
And that last one, that Monday night game, any thoughts on that? Like, it feels like Miami's getting a little bit hot all of a sudden, and Pittsburgh obviously needs this one to keep pace with Baltimore.
Well, doesn't Pittsburgh lead the division right now?
Yeah,
Pittsburgh leads the division, by 1 on Baltimore.
Okay. Yeah, man. I hope Miami wins because I can't stand Aaron Rodgers, bro. Like, I can't. I just can't.
Lion haters over here. No. Yeah. Well, they're going to go 9-8. So, they're 7-6 right now. So, we got to win 2 of their last games. And I don't think they're beating the Lions. And, they're either going to beat the Dolphins or Ravens, I guess, because they'll beat the Browns. So, you can only guarantee so many things in life, and the Ravens, and the Steelers with a 500 or better record, it's like guaranteed. So,
yeah, the only reason I kind of brought that up, we haven't mentioned the Dolphins at all, and it just they're getting a little bit hot, and it feels like they might be saving McDaniel's job. Just it felt like he was gone just a few weeks ago, and all of a sudden, man, just like he's still hanging around, man. Yeah. So like if they can pull that off, all of a sudden, man, they get themselves into a playoff race. They're on the graphic, as they say. They'll be on the graphic if they can pull this one out.
They have been on the graphic because their schedule is so atrocious from like week 7 through like the end of the year that they're like, even when they were like 4-7 or whatever it was, they were still the last team on the graphic because this was a real possibility.
Well, we can finish the show off with this, guys. The big one. Lions at Rams, and I want to start off with this one. This was the topic I wanted to bring up. For me personally, like the whole Stafford stuff, maybe it would be a little bit more if it was at Ford Field. It's out in LA. But to me, like I'm done with it. Like it's not even like a factor to me anymore. To me, it's about like win this game. This game is so huge. There's so much importance on this. I don't care about any of the Stafford narratives anymore. We've done it. We've exhausted every aspect we could of that. We've seen all the hype videos, all the stuff. Like we're done. It's about the Lions and Rams, 2 contenders going at it in a huge game. That's what this is about. Dustin, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on that with the Stafford stuff? Are you just done with it and like let's move on? Let's go.
He's like my favorite. He's like my favorite player my whole entire childhood, right? I'm in that age range where when I got into football, this was the guy all the way through. And I got emotional when he left, but like I've never been to a game as crazy as that playoff game that they had. Never been in a stadium that loud. It's incredible. They've played 3 times since he's left, I believe. I think they're 2-1. It just doesn't matter. I saw a stat a couple weeks ago. Jared Goff's officially played more games for the Lions than he did the Rams. Stafford has played, finally above 500 for his career record. I saw that happen a couple weeks ago. So literally, it's just different stratosphere. It just doesn't matter anymore, like you said. It's done. It's over with. Do I hope when he makes the Hall of Fame? More than likely, does he go in with both teams? hopefully, but it'll probably be a Ram, and that'll hurt
He's
when that
going under
happens.
as a
But
Ram.
this is
Yeah,
now.
I hate to break it to you, Dustin. I know he's one of your favorite players.
When he wins the MVP, well, I kind of hope. Well, he's probably gonna win the MVP, but he'll probably definitely win if he wins this game. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Who's
what
your
do you
pick?
think, Lawrence? I know you're a little bit of a little bit outside looking in some degrees. Like, what do you think about all the Stafford stuff? Do you think it should be done and buried? Like, let's move on, or do you think it's still kind of?
People are going to say that I'm kind of heartless in this aspect. The day he was traded, it should have been done and buried. I don't.
Oh, you weren't a fan of the Detroit Rams stuff. You didn't go out and get a T-shirt.
Absolutely not.
You didn't go to Meyer and get a Detroit Rams T-shirt.
I'm a big. Let me put it to you this way. So if you guys remember Tony Dorsett, right?
Oh yeah.
The day he was traded to Denver was the day I stopped liking Tony Dorsett, and he was my favorite player growing up. Got his autograph, got his jersey. Off my team, off my mind. So, fast forward even to DeMarcus Ware, who was one of my favorites. Once he went to Denver, sorry, you're out. So when the Lions traded Stafford, that's it, man. That should done and buried. Doesn't matter where he goes from there. Good luck to you, but don't care.
It's such a deeper story though, because like when he was leaving, he did that school, and like his only negative is his wife. And so, like, it's like the guy from a character perspective and like everything about him was just like the competitor, the highlight.
Look, man, no one's gonna deny.
Like, it took me a year, and I was happy they won that Super Bowl. But also, not all I see, but a lot of times all I see now is, oh, did the Lions win the trade when they got Jahmyr Gibbs? No. They didn't win the dang trade because they didn't win the Super Bowl. The Rams won the Super Bowl. If the Lions win the Super Bowl, they can be the 51-49 of that trade. But for the rest of history, if they don't win the Super Bowl with those players, it's 51-49 Rams. Yeah. They won the Super Bowl. That's why they did the trade. And
Lawrence, you brought up the fact like once he was traded, it should have been over with. And I'm kind of on that same boat to an extent because Stafford didn't win anything here. He didn't win anything, and I compare it to Verlander, like because I have how Dustin feels about Stafford is how I feel about Justin Verlander. Like I rooted for him after he was gone because I watched him single-handedly win playoff games, win a Game 5 winner go home series where he shut out the A's and put the team on his back and carry them to the next round of the playoffs. Like I watched that. He was my favorite player. Like he won games, he won playoff games, he won championships. So not the World Series championship, unfortunately, but division championships and got them to the World Series. Right. Like Stafford didn't do that here. He didn't win playoff games. Golf has won divisions. I know it's a team around him. The team around him. I know that. But still, it's the quarterback position, and he's the face of the franchise. And Stafford didn't win those big games. Whether it's his fault or not, that can be an argument that we have down the road. But
Stafford had his Miguel Cabrera and Kelvin Johnson, but he didn't have the rest of the pitching staff or anyone else either. So it's a weird balance to look at it because it's night and day. I mean, those lineups, you can name off like 20, 25 guys that were like awesome on the Tigers.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I
had two guys that were just, it was it. It was Miguel Cabrera, it was Justin Verlander on the Lions. But,
I mean, that's a fair point. But
it just sucks. I get what you're saying. I'm just saying, like, oof.
Yeah. But regardless, I think, although maybe this conversation maybe proves the otherwise, but I think we are ready to move past the Stafford stuff. And
I moved on. I think the majority of people moved on after the playoff game when the score was.
Yeah, I think that ended it. Absolutely. When Goff and the Lions beat Stafford and the Rams in Ford Field, and the Lions got their first playoff win, and
I can't imagine
like that. That ended it to me.
I can't imagine a louder stadium. Like, it was insane. But I'll give a score, though, and it's going to be the opposite of that playoff game where the Lions won 24-23. I'll go Rams 24-23 begrudgingly.
I am also going with the Rams. Yeah, I'm going with the Rams as well. I think, emotions play a lot in sports in general. Detroit came off an emotional game against the Cowboys. There could be, even though it is Stafford, I think there's going to be a tiny bit of a letdown. I don't necessarily think being the Rams at home is really – I don't think the Rams really have this big, great home field advantage because I think there's probably going to be more Lions fans there anyway.
Might be 50-50, yeah.
But I just think talent-wise, health-wise, I think the Rams are healthier right now than the Lions. So give me the Rams. I think they win by a touchdown.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm going with the Rams as well. My concern with the Lions is that secondary. It's been getting torched the past few weeks, and I don't think there's a lot of things you can do to fix it. Branch is out, Kirby's out, Terry and Arnold's out, and I just don't. There's only so much you can do. Like, they were able to get pressure last week on Prescott, which obviously helped things a lot. Maybe if they can get some similar pressure like they did last week, and be able to get to Stafford. But man, I've watched enough of Matthew Stafford, man. He's going to stand in there and take the shots and get that ball downfield. He'll take the extra second and take that brutal hit and just get up and keep on going. The guy's a machine. Yeah, and I'm just terrified of what this version of Stafford's going to do against that Lions defense. I think the Lions are going to hold their own. I think this is going to be an amazing shootout. The best game of the week. I think it's going to be absolutely incredible. But I'm going to take the Rams 41-37, absolute shootout, absolute wild one. But I just don't think the Lions are going to have enough defensively and be able to get enough stops. The only thing that could save them, and it saved them last week, was they won the turnover battle 3-0. If they can get some type of turnover differential in that range, 3-1, a 3-0, something in that, where they get it, where they're kind of a +2, I think that can shift it. But if the turnovers are even, and definitely if the Rams win the turnover battle, I think the Rams are going to win this one. So I think things being even, I'm taking the Rams by 4. Dustin, did you see a spread on this one?
I thought it was 5.5, but I could be off. I thought it opened at 5.5. But
one thing I do want to ask you guys though, we're all in agreement. We think the Rams are going to win this one, but it's going to be a good game. I think we've all kind of felt this way for a few weeks now, that this would be a game that the Lions lose, right? We just kind of marked it down as a loss. But what if they win? What if the Lions win this game? Does that put everything? Yeah, I see you putting the one up, Dustin. I'll start with you. Are they all of a sudden, is everything back on the table for them if they find a way to win this game?
Yeah, I was going to mention about the game. I think the key factor might be Devontae Adams. He's mentioned the secondary and everything, but they do a good job of kind of holding one receiver. You saw it in the Cowboys game. I think that I think Puka's going to eat, but if they can kind of slow down the touchdown production of Devontae Adams, I think that's going to be kind of the key. But about the what was the exact question again? Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. What do you think?
If the Lions win, what's the?
Oh, sorry. Yes. So I think that they would have a good shot because, you guys picked the Packers, but I think the Broncos are going to win, and I really like how this schedule is set up for the NFC the end of the year because, we talked about earlier, there's no clear lockdown divisions yet. I think the NFC West is going to kick the crap out of each other to finish up the year, and if they get this game, I'm not scared of the Steelers. I'm weird, so they lost on Thanksgiving, so you can't lose on Christmas, right? Vikings? I don't know. Anyways, and then you get extended rest going into the Bears game. You just don't know.
Well, that's another aspect. Before I throw it to you, Lawrence, the Lions do have extra rests going into this game as well.
I think it means a little bit.
Thursday. I think it helps. I think it will help, especially as beat up as they are. To get some extra rest, I think it's going to help them out. But Lawrence, what do you think, man? If the Lions do find a way to win this game, do you think that puts everything on the table for them, or do you think they're still kind of behind the 8 ball when it comes to the division because of the 2 losses to the Packers?
I think it puts the division on the table. I think because of the teams like San Francisco and Seattle having less losses, I think those two teams are more if you beat the Rams, I think Seattle has a favorable schedule. The 49ers have a favorable schedule. I think that lends to one of those two teams maybe getting that first seed. But I do think it does. If the Lions win, I think it opens up a little bit more for the division. Because I do think if they beat the Rams, I feel like they'll win out. Like, I don't think that's any question. But I just don't know that 12-5 is going to get you your 1 seed. Because I think 14. I think at the very least, a 13-4 team is going to be in that 1 seed.
I just know who's going to win.
But I think we can agree that these will be the top 2 seeds, right? Like the winners of these divisions, the North and the West, are going to be 1 and 2. It's a question of which teams it's going to be. There's 6 teams we're talking about,
right,
for 2 spots ultimately. But whoever wins the division is going to be 1 and 2.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, the Rams' schedule to close out's pretty tough. I mean, the next 2 games. I mean, they got the Lions and then the Seahawks. So that Seahawks,
right? So there's your kind of the West is kind of eating itself, but not enough to where the Lions can jump multiple teams. And that
49ers play both still too. So
yeah, Dustin, I don't know if you read it off already, but the 49ers schedule:
Titans, Colts, Bears, Seahawks. They could be the 1 seed.
Yeah.
That's
both. They're definitely going to be in position a couple weeks from now, no doubt about it. They're going to skyrocket your rankings, I think, Lawrence, over these next couple weeks.
Which sucks, because that 49ers are probably my second most hated team.
The Seahawks, you said it's kind of easy. The Seahawks schedules, I think it's kind of tough. I mean, the Colts game this week, you never know with Philip and all that, but Rams, Panthers, 49ers, that's 3 teams fighting for playoffs. So,
yep,
you never know. I mean, and the Rams, they finish off with the Falcons and Cardinals, but the Falcons, I mean, players don't care about this stuff, but you think that they would fight for since the Rams own their draft pick. But, I mean, coaching staff-wise, you might lose your job, so you might want to win that game if you're, what's his name? The Rams coach.
I don't think they're
Falcons coach.
Yeah, it's shaping up like that. The last week of the season, there's going to be a ton of huge games,
and you just know it's going to be Lions versus Bears on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, we'll see though, man. Because you look at some of these matchups, probably one of the NFC West matchups is going to be huge. And you mentioned that it was Carolina and Tampa Bay played twice in the last 3 games.
The last 3 weeks,
one of those the last game.
Yep. They play week 16, week 18.
It's a good chance that game could be for the division too, man.
Yeah.
And then Philly and Dallas, I mean, they're not playing each other, but their games are they're probably going to be both playing at 4:00.
Yeah.
And
there's
going to be
really nice.
The NFC is an absolute battle, as we saw last week, as we mentioned earlier in this show. Like Chicago losing 1 game on the road to the Packers drops them from 1 to 7. That's how crazy this division is. So, guys, we can wrap it up. Do you guys have any final thoughts? Lawrence, any final thoughts before we head out?
No, actually, just looking at this slate and then kind of talking about all these games, man, it's going to be a real good 4 weeks here of football. So I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, me
Dustin,
as well.
Any final thoughts?
Yeah, no, me as well. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, like especially the NFC. I think, it's just going to be a bloodbath. I mean, 8 teams, 7 spots. Well, 9 teams, 7 spots, but 1 division. So, Cowboys. So 10 teams. I mean, 10 teams could literally 10 different teams. Wow. Yeah, 10 different teams have a real shot of making it. So that's going to be fun.
Yep.
Absolutely wild. Yeah, and it's going to give us lots to talk about here in the Pro Football Weekly. Again, this was our first episode or debut episode. We hope you guys enjoyed listening to it. For Dustin, for Lawrence, I'm Dan Murphy, and we'll see you again next week.